Football is awesome here, week number 9. Although this is the ninth week of this podcast. We started this podcast week 2, week 3. So, but whatever. We follow the NFL week by week guidelines. I am your host, Ernest EJ Christian, coming to you on a late Tuesday night. We've got a fun show for you guys, as always. First off, as we always do it, we're going to our rankings later on with Mike the Squid Veneer. Our week 9 rankings, Power 10, Power 5. Kyle Effin Nass doing the game will be on as well too. We're going to talk about a lot of things about the NFL stuff, of course, but also the first rankings that came out today, which I'll touch on in a second. And of course, Zach Degenerate, as we do our week 9 picks after spread. A quick preview, real quick. I am now down 4-2 to Zach this year, so I need to catch up on the grounds. But 2 things before we get started on this podcast that I want to touch on. Before we do that, Earnestly podcast, of course, you can subscribe on all podcast catchers, especially this. Subscribe to my YouTube page at Ernest EJ Christian on YouTube. Subscribe, please. We're definitely doing a lot of things on YouTube, having clips on there and different. These shows also are some of these shows are video as well too. So we got a lot going on the YouTube page as well. And my Substack also too. I'm gonna hopefully start really getting back to writing again on different things that matters for me, sports, pop culture, you name it, life, you name it. Okay, but this is football's awesome. This is all football here. So let's touch on a couple things. I'll touch 2 things. One related to NFL, one related to college football. NFL first. Dallas Cowboys. Now, you guys know I'm a big New York Giants fan, so I have no love for the Cowboys, obviously. And why should I? But I've been saying one of the themes this year that I've continuously repeated on this podcast, on shows I appear on, you name it, is that this Dallas Cowboys team feels completely different from the last 10, 15 years. Cowboys teams in the last 10, 15 years have found ways to, even when seasons they've done really well. When they had a 13-3 year or a 12-4 year, or maybe, they've always found ways to lose games. Just find a way to lose games. Games they should win, or just find ways to take away victory and present defeat to themselves. And there's been a couple games this year where you always assume, well, the Cowboys might lose that game, and yet they have found a way to win those games. Okay, the Pats game a couple weeks ago, where it got tested at the end. Pats and Mac Jones, getting hot late and whatever, and the Cowboys find a way to put together a last-minute drive in overtime to win that game. You had a couple games early in the season, the Chargers game, which obviously it's mired in some controversy, of course, but they still found ways to win that game. And then this game this past Sunday night against Minnesota. Now, on the picks of the week, I picked, well, not my picks of the week, but rather the picks with Zach. I had taken Minnesota to win this game because I thought this is the game where Minnesota's dangerous, and depending on what Vikings team believes in the show up this week, week to week, this could be a game that the Vikings could steal. Added to the fact that we find out about 2 hours for kickoff that Dak Prescott's not playing this game either. Dak Prescott is in the MVP race right now, the quarterback. So you figure, okay, well, this will probably end up being a loss for the Cowboys, and we'll just accept that and move forward. And they found a way to win this game. Still. Defense showed up. Their quarterback, who replaced him, forgot his name, for one night, showed up. The Cowboys win a big game in Minnesota, and now are, obviously they're going to win the division. They're going to win the NFC East. That's not even a conversation. But now they find themselves with the time for the best record in football. At 6-1. And I've been holding back for weeks now. And there's been obviously been a lot of controversy on this, at least on social media when I wrote this out. And I said, hey, you know what? I'll do. I'll read out the tweet that I put up on both Facebook and Twitter about the Cowboys, which caused a lot of controversy. But I am sticking to my convictions here, because I truly believe this is fact. I think the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders. And when I said this, I got a lot of hate on this from Cowboys haters, and maybe here's what I wrote out on Facebook yesterday. Quote, Said as far back as week 3. This Dallas Cowboys team feels let me start over again. Said as far back as week 3. This Dallas Cowboys team feels completely different from the ones we've seen the last decade or so. Last night was another example. Probably should have lost out Dak. Still found a way to win. I think this is a Super Bowl contending team. Now, let me go through up. Yeah, I'm not a Cowboy fan. But I also know how to dismiss or to, push away the emotional part of this versus what's logic. And what's logical is that this is a very good football team. What's logical is that Dak Prescott is the MVP candidate. What's logical is this defense is playing much better than we thought. And now we're 9 weeks into the year, and it's still sustaining itself. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to win the NFC. I'm not saying they're going to win multiple playoff games. But what I do see is a team that is locked in, a team that is playing very good football, and has some pretty decent wins this year to show for it. So, are the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl contender right now? Yes. I say they are. I think they are. So, that's just that. If you don't like it, too bad. And I'm not trying to put the emotions to this thing. I'm not trying to say, well, okay, I'll hit the Cowboys. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Okay? I'm just speaking from the heart here. I'm speaking from reality. And this team feels like a Super Bowl team. And it is what it is. So, again, could this change? Of course it could change. There's a lot of football we played. Who knows Dak's injury lingers into the December. Who knows? But right now, as I'm sitting here in week 9, heading to week 9, they're going to win the division, obviously, with ease. They're up, what, 4 or 5 games now? This team is going to win the division, and they're going to end up probably being one of the top seeds in the NFC, the way things are going. You got to give credit where credit's due, man. Sorry. I'm not here to for feelings and stuff. I'm here just to be honest. And to be honest, right now is that the Dallas Cowboys right now are in my opinion, a Super Bowl contending team. May not like it, but accept it. In the words of Macho Man Randy Savage. The next thing I want to touch on before we get to Mike and Kyle and Zach, of course, is we just an hour ago, I just watched hour and a half ago, should I say? Just watched the first college football playoff rankings. The playoff 4 plus 2. They go 6 really. Let me just say this. Okay, first off, 1 through 6. Number 1, Georgia, no surprise there. Number 2, Alabama. 3, Michigan State. 4, Oregon. 5, Ohio State. 6, Cincinnati. Now, let me start here. The 6 teams in this bubble, they got correct. The 6 teams in here are correct. Now, we can tinker with certain things here. You can argue Alabama maybe a little too high. I'm not going to lose sleep over Alabama number 2 because I do think they are the same as team in college football anyway. Even when you consider what happened this year. I think the real argument here, there's 2 things here. Two things here that I took away from this thing is that there's obviously a lot of debate between 4 and 6. Cincy not cracking the top 4, this might be unbeaten. Okay, you have Ohio State obviously also ranked number 5. Okay, and Oregon number 4. The other thing to take away from this thing too is Oklahoma, despite being unbeaten, got the committee pretty much spoke to the narrative everybody's been talking about. That Oklahoma is not a real team. Oklahoma is not really that good. Despite being unbeaten, that their performance in the field has not attributed to being a top 6 team right now in college football, based on the rankings. Now they have a lot of time to change the narrative. You got a lot of football to be played this month. Some big games ahead of them. And, of course, a lot of this will work itself out because you have a lot of Big Ten games still to come. Ohio State has a lot of big games coming up in the next couple of weeks. Same with, Alabama has some games coming up, too, as well. That could change things. We'll see what happens. I think, personally, and I'll obviously talk to Scott about this when we get to our student report in the middle of this podcast. I think Cincy personally deserves to be in top 4. I think this. But the reason why I like where these rankings are right now is because this committee obviously likes Ohio State. So if you're going to put Ohio State number 5, then Oregon has to be number 4. There's no way you can put Ohio State ahead of Oregon, number 1. Because that win in Columbus in week 2 has to count for something. It has to count for something. Oregon has to be ahead of Ohio State any slice. Now, had the committee ranked Ohio State 6, then I would have said, okay, well, Oregon 5 and Cincy 4. But because Ohio State is number 5 in the committee. I think they got it correct here and put Oregon number 4. Because, again, that win over Ohio State in week 2 has to come with something. But again, all this will work itself out. All of it will. So I'm not going to get my, underwritten bunch. What do we call it? What's the saying? But I think, again, they got the 16th right. You can tinker with, 4 through 6. Oklahoma not being in the top 6, I'm okay with. I am curious, though, as the year plays on, you got Wake Forest also number 9, I believe, or number 8. Notre Dame number 10. Is there room for that for those teams to crack it? Especially Wake Forest. Wake Forest being an ACC team. Is there room for Wake Forest to crack the bubble? Now, they don't play anybody going forward, so it's harder to make the case. But, again, a lot of these teams in the middle. The Michigan's number 7, and lost to Michigan State. They're still in it. They got to win out. Michigan State obviously gets in by virtue of beating Michigan this weekend, so they have a lot of big wins too as well themselves. Lots of football left on the docket. Let's enjoy this next month, man, because this is where we call it the witching hour of college football. I can't wait. So anyway, that's my cold open for today. All right, enjoy this podcast as we bring in Mike the Squid Bernier, then of course Kyle Nash, and then we end the podcast with Zach the Degenerate. So here we go. Good luck and enjoy the podcast. Football's awesome with the Squid, Mike Bernier. Hi.
Power rankings suck.
Power rankings is terrible, dude. Why do we do this shit, man?
Because we like to see the world burn.
Yeah, and people getting their fucking feelings of this shit, dude. And this week we're about to have some conversations about some things because some things happened in week 8. You know what I'm saying?
It did.
I don't know. Did you watch the game last night? My Giants somehow I felt like a win actually. I don't know why.
Because they played a team who's played in the last 2 Super Bowls very tightly, even though that team is not the same team that it was the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Welcome to reality, Chiefs fans. You're not as good as you were the last 2 years.
Oh, and I think even last night was quite evident that that is the case. So now the big mystery here is that the Chiefs, who are now 4-4 and only one game and a half out of the division lead, did they crack my top 10? Let's find out. Number 10, what do you got?
This one's painful for me because I tried to get them out of the top 10 because of how bad they looked on Sunday. That's my team. That is the Cincinnati Bengals. I said this yesterday because I said to a guy that plays at the track fairly frequently that I felt the big issue that the Bengals needed to fix was offensive line.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was running for his life in that game. So, again, offensive line was mediocre. The guy's response was, well, how about the defense? I said, you literally have never seen this guy play quarterback in the NFL. You have no game film on him. You're literally going to run out there and try to run a vanilla defense and just hope it works because you have no idea how good this guy's going to be. You have no idea what he's going to do. You have no idea about any of that stuff. Kudos to the Jets offensive line for keeping that guy upright, being able to throw the football as much as he did. But it's one of those where it's like, yes, this loss sucks. This is the first bad loss.
Yeah, correct.
The Bears one was frustrating because they had chances in that game. The Green Bay one was a game we probably should have won multiple times. This is the first one that you look at it and you're just like, this is a kick right in the shin.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree 100%. And I was worried about this game a little bit because of the fact that, okay, is this team going to be feeling us up playing the Jets, or are they going to, because I was tempted to take Jets on the points, just for that factor, but I didn't think they'll lose the game outright. That didn't see coming.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So number 10 for me, though, however, is the team that I don't really believe in the long term, but I think they're frisky and they've had some big wins this year, 2 of the biggest wins of the year, and that's the New Orleans Saints. Look, I think the Saints are a playoff contender, yes, but that's their ceiling. They're going to be that team that makes the playoffs as a 6 or 7 seed and then be out in the first round. Goodbye.
You're a lot more nicer to them than I am.
Oh, really? Yeah, but I imagine you haven't ranked her higher than me, though.
I do. I have them at 9.
Okay.
I don't think they're a playoff team. Not with Trevor Siemian at quarterback because Jameis Winston out for the year, torn ACL. So unless they do something drastic like trade for a quarterback in the next 2 hours, I don't know that I believe in Trevor Siemian is going to get them to the playoffs. Their only potential saving grace is the fact that basically every other team in the NFC that is not ranked in the power rankings is god awful. And they may get there just because nobody else wants to qualify.
Well, I don't believe in Trevor Siemian, but I believe in Sean Payton.
Sure, but I here's the problem. Taysom Hill will be their starting quarterback if he gets back from that concussion sometime soon.
Yeah.
And do I really believe in the Great White Hope?
You don't? Okay. All right. Number 9 for me is the your team, the Bengals. Got them in there because while they lost the game, other things happen around that say, well, I can't take them out. You know what I'm saying?
The Chargers laying an egg. That one. If Chargers win, obviously I have Cincinnati out because I had the Chargers last week at 10.
Yeah, correct.
And I had Saints in this week. So common math would have been Cincinnati would have been on the outside looking in this week.
I am interested to see how they bounce back this week, though. Honestly, they're playing. Who are they playing this weekend? They're playing. I forgot. That's at the list. Well, I'll remember in a second. All right, number 8. You got.
Who do you have at 9?
The Bengals.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Number 8. This team is going to take a death blow to their playoff chances, but I still have them in here because they won a game against their division opponent on the road. I'll take the Tennessee Titans at 8.
They're done. They're done.
I mean, it's not good.
They go where Derek goes, and then I'll just go ahead and say it right now. They're not in my ranking solely because of the fact that he's not available.
I see. The thing is, I still see that they could win that division without him. I don't know that they go longer than first round of playoffs without him, but I still see they could win that division. Jaguars are god awful. Houston's god awful. They just beat Indianapolis on the road. They're on a 3-game win streak. They've beaten some really good teams. With Ryan Tannehill playing decent at the quarterback position. Yes, this team goes as Derek goes, but they still have weapons for him to throw to. I heard they're signing Adrian Peterson from the practice squad or something. Whatever that's. I mean, honestly, if I was them, I would have picked up the phone and given up a draft pick and went and got one of those extra kids from Cleveland in either Dearness Johnson or Felton. I went and got one of them and tried to use them and Jeremy Nichols and try to just get this thing through and see how much we can get out of those guys, knowing that you're not going to go trade for someone like Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt because Derrick Henry's back next year.
Right. Their saving grace right now is they have a big cushion in that division.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on.
But the schedule gets a little rough next couple weeks. So if Indy wins 2 games, they can get back in a couple weeks. But, we'll see where that goes. Number 8 for me is Las Vegas Raiders. Now, we'll see how things go. No, this whole news is broke like 5 minutes ago with Ruggs and the DUI and all that. He may not be on the team anymore, much less forget. Yeah. So, but I believe in Derek Carr. I think this team is better without John Gruden. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks.
Their big question mark here is they have to get Darren Waller back healthy.
That too.
If they get him back healthy, I think that's an absolute game changer because it'll help the stress of their wide receiving core. Now that even if Ruggs is still a part of this team, he's going to be suspended.
Right.
And he's going to get at least 4 to 8 games. There's no way he's going to get less than 4 games.
Right, exactly.
So the way I look at it is there's no chance in hell that he plays another football game until week 14 at the earliest, probably.
Right.
This is an interesting news piece. I'll hit you with this one and let you get your reaction here before you give us your pick. Free agent quarterback and recently retired Phillip Rivers said, quote, he would listen if the Saints reached out.
Someone literally said that 3 hours ago if he's a option. And I'm like, I doubt it, but geez.
Sam Farmer on Twitter said he would listen if reached out to.
He might be there for the free lunch. That's all.
Hey, I mean, Joe Flacco just got traded for draft picks.
Yeah. All right. We're moving the world for James Winston here. I can't believe it. It's crazy. All right, number 7. Who do you have?
I have the Baltimore Ravens. They move up 1 spot because the team, like Cincinnati, lost, and then they didn't play, so it just made sense to move them up to 1 spot.
Copycatter. Me too. And in what spot too?
Well, my top 6 is the same that it was last week, just in a little bit different order.
Okay, so the top six, obviously, I think everybody knows what the top six is going to be. I think the interesting thing is where it's going, because we saw things happen this week that shifted the conversation and going forward. So let's get to the top six. This is the interesting part of the fucking thing now. Number 6, who you got?
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, a little tight game against Miami, kind of.
If they blow Miami out, they probably move up. But they let Miami stay in that game for extremely way too long.
Yeah, I agree. But again, the one thing I will say, divisional opponent, they're always going to be a little frisky, that kind of thing. So you have to expect that some competition to some degree. I thought the week 2 win was a bit of an anomaly in terms of the way they won that game. I think this is a little more close to these two teams, I guess, in a sense, where Miami could play competitive, but ultimately not get the job done, which right now they're a mess. But number 6 for me, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You gotta beat You gotta beat the fucking Saints. I know it's on the road. I know it's the divisional opponent, but you gotta beat the Saints, especially after they lose Jameis and stuff. Come on now, gotta beat them.
Yeah, I have them at 5. I thought a 3 spot drop was enough.
Right.
It wasn't pretty. The pick 6 to end it was a bad throw. But that's one, like, when walking into that stadium that you're that much better than they are, have to step on their throat, and then them losing Jameis Winston, like, I get it. You didn't watch film preparing for Trevor Siemian. It's the same thing with Cincinnati not having film to face Mike White.
Mike White.
But at halftime, like, you have to make those adjustments, and they looked really flat in the second half, and they've been a better second half team the first half of the year. So it's very alarming that they weren't able to get to that step that we've seen them get to all year.
Yet here's the thing, though. If you ask me right now, which team do you trust more in the NFC right now, long term, I'm going Brady and company.
I'll take the team that I have at number 2. That will get 1 or 2. We'll get there when we get there. But.
Okay. So that's number 5, right? You said?
I have the Bucs at 5.
Okay, I had the Buffalo Bills number 5. We did a little swap through there. What were they last week? Last week they were the same thing. They didn't really move up or down. So hey, what is what is? They did their job. They are probably the best team in the AFC right now, I would say. Yeah. I would say. So, all right, number 4. I'm looking forward to the top 4.
I have a team that has free fallen from the number 1 spot. That is the Arizona Cardinals.
Guess what? So do I.
They just look bad. I know it's a short week. I know you probably thought, okay, Green Bay has no healthy wide receivers. We should be able to dominate this one. The loss of J.J. Watt is more extreme than anybody thought it was.
Yeah. It wasn't that they lost the game is why I put them down so low. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why. But that game should have been close, to be honest with you, the optics. And the game was being close to begin with was a problem.
You can sit here and say that if A.J. Green turns around and catches that ball, they're still number 1 ranked. I don't know that I would still have them at number 1, even though they're undefeated.
Right. I would probably do it by default because they're undefeated, but at the same time.
Well, I don't know that I would have had them at number 1. I think the team I have one I think would have jumped them just because that game was a game that they should have won by double digits. And
I don't blame you.
Aaron Rodgers, but goddamn.
And I don't blame you for that. Honestly, I don't blame you for that whatsoever. The fact you lost the game is why you deserve a little free fall here. Mm-hmm. So I have 4 Arizona. You have 4 Arizona too?
Yep.
Okay. Number 3.
How about them Cowboys?
What? The Cowboys cracking the top 3. Oh my Lord! If I can, I'm trying to stop here.
Everybody Cooper Big Time Rush.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Cut you out. Say it one time.
Everybody loves Cooper Big Time Rush. We love Cooper Rush here. Yeah. Minnesota, I don't know what they were doing at one point in that game, but they were just like, hey, here's some yardage, CeeDee Lamb, just go catch a pass. He's
so good. I'll get my piece in a second about the Cowboys because they're actually ranked a little higher than you than Number 3 for me is the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, again, you go to Arizona, you're down with DC, you're down your best receiver, you're down another receiver and whatnot, and you go on the road in a short week and still win that game. That's amazing. They got a big jump here because last year they were number 6, I think, on my list. So they got a 3-spot jump from me. Do I still think they are the best team in the NFC? I can't say yes completely. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, but I can't say it for certain they are. So I'm gonna hold back on that a little bit. But the Packers are they're a win like this though definitely changes some perception. Because I told you I had a little bit of doubt about this team going forward for the long term.
Absolutely.
So
All right.
Who's the 4?
I have the Green Bay Packers at number 2.
Okay.
They moved up 3 spots because I had them at 5 last week.
Right.
The win here is an absolute momentum shift for this team.
Yes.
Yes, they got the doors blown off of them by New Orleans with the whole hectic travel, and the game was supposed to be in New Orleans, and it was in Jacksonville, and it became a shit show. They've not lost a game since. They've righted the ship. And this is one of those where you're looking at, like, I hate to use this reference, but game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, Red Sox are on the brink of elimination. Dave Roberts steals second base. Everyone goes, "Oh shit!" That was the moment that everything changed and they went to a whole other direction. Like, this could be that moment where, like, the NFL Films thing starts, where it's like, and Aaron Rodgers on the road with only Randall Cobb playing wide receiver beats an undefeated Arizona team, runs the table, and wins the Super Bowl. This is the NFL Films. Like, if this is where, like, if they win this year, like, the NFL Films video starts there.
It's the inflection point of the season, in other words.
Correct, because that's where they could have very easily taken that loss, been pissed off at each other, the people got sick, and people were out, and they could lose 3 games in a row, win that division by 2 games, and be the 3 seed. Like, they had the opportunity to really drop this one, and they figured it out.
I totally agree with you on that one. But number 2 for me works for this team.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Hey, listen. I said people always crazy saying this last week, but because it's Minnesota and all that. Minnesota's not a bad team. They are a team that week to week you don't know what you're getting, and that's dangerous because you bet a good team with a bad team.
It's because half their team's hurt.
Right. And Dak didn't play, and they still the fact that even was insane and won, and they still win the game. I am now at the point now where I said this before the game started. This is the game where I say, okay, you are a Super Bowl contender. Guess what? They're a Super Bowl contender because the defense is playing fantastic too. On top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I get it. It's fun to make fun of the Cowboys. I get it. It's America's team, But facts are facts, and they're playing. They could be easily, what was it, 8-0, 7-0 right now? The Bucks, the one loss, it was against the Bucks on last second field goal.
Yep.
So, just saying. Contact matters. So,
I agree.
Number 1, he got
the best team in the NFC. You mean Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, they are the best team in the NFC. I do think though that the hold on, my ding didn't work here. I don't know why happened here. My computer's been being a big bitch today. Give me a ding. Never mind. Whatever. I do think the gap between 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 3 for that matter is minuscule anyway. So
1 through 4 is tight.
Yeah.
I mean, LA's one loss is to Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all tight in the NFC 1 through 4. I think that they're the best team because I think now for the first time in a long time, they have a quarterback that knows how to use those weapons. Cooper Kupp's the best receiver in the NFL right now statistically. Robert Woods is having a great year. Higbee's been good. Darrell Henderson's running the shit out of the ball. Matt Stafford is throwing the ball over the place. Oh, and by the way, they traded 2 day 2 draft picks for Von Miller.
Oh, no big deal. No big deal. By the way, I was on number 1 as well. So, just saying. I agree with you on that one. Like I said, this top 6 though is really sick. Because Super Bowl contenders is 1 through 6.
Correct. I agree.
There you go. As always we do a stat 5 on the bottom, 28 to 32. So let's go and run through this real quick. 28, who you got?
28, I have the Washington football team.
Yeah, they're close to mine. Not mine, but they're close to mine. 28, you're a Giants. You know how to.
I didn't put it in because of how good they actually played Kansas City last night.
Right. I'm with you. 29?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Me too. Jaguars and Sunshine. 30?
Houston Texans.
Miami Dolphins.
I would have probably flipped them if Houston didn't put up 22 unanswered against the Rams late in that game.
Mm-hmm. 31?
Dolphins.
Texans. 32.
Jared Goff.
Man Campbell.
Yeah.
At some point, well, look, they got. I picked them to beat Philadelphia this week. I thought this was the week they win the first game.
And then Philly hung up 40 on them.
I thought this is the week they do it, dude. This is the week they do it. Philadelphia is like teetering on the edge again and whatever, and motherfucker, I can be more wrong.
Wrong.
Anyway, so there's our power week 9 power 10 power 5, and yeah, this is kind of fun. Of course, every week you see Mike on a Take 3 Wrestling podcast with me and Joe as well, and this week's a fun show.
Looking forward to it.
I think we're doing Rock Appreciation this week, by the way. So
Ooh, okay.
I think we're doing that. I think I'm pulling the trigger on that. So, all right, buddy. We'll talk soon. Later, bud. Studio Report with Colin Nash. Recording this late night. We do this our little behind the scenes. Normally we do our recordings for the podcast in the afternoon on Tuesdays, but
this is my fault this time. Like, my boss actually wanted me to do work during the day. WTF, mate?
No, but also it makes sense though. Like, hey, we had the between the trade deadline, which ended after we were normally recorded, and of course playoff rankings. The first playoff rankings college football came out tonight. Might as well react to it now. I mean,
less credible entities like ESPN and the College Football Playoff Committee would have just said, "Oh yeah, it's a special. We're doing it late because this came out." No, we had lives and we decided to lean into it because it could be better for you guys this time.
Yeah. Believe me, I would love to finish the podcast during the day so I can go to sleep early at night. But hey, you know what? Duty calls.
And I laughed because you said duty.
Duty. Yeah, duty. Let's start. Let's start first. College football first. The rankings are out. That's still pretty fresh, a couple hours old. And obviously we can go through 1 through 10, but I really want to focus on 1 through 6 real quick.
Okay, so we're gonna do this right now. Hold on, let me get ready.
Oh,
I got to do the dang thing here. Hold on. Okay.
Fucking like a 10-minute on the Whole Lot podcast with my boy Jim, Big Jim.
Well, I gotta like I said there, I gotta get in the right mentality.
Yeah. So let's go through 1 through 6 real quick. Number 1, no surprise. No surprise. Number 2, Alabama. 3, Michigan State. 4, Oregon. 5, Ohio State. And number 6, Cincinnati. Rounding out the 10, number 7, I believe, is Michigan. Number 8, Wake Forest. No, Oklahoma. Sorry, Oklahoma. Number 8. 9, Wake Forest. 10, Notre Dame. Now, that came out late. Number 1, obviously the 1 through 6, and I believe they got it correct on 1 through 6 in terms of the actual teams in the bubble. The second narrative here is, man, the committee gave Oklahoma no love. This might be unbeaten. And I love it because every credible person that knows what to talk about, including yourself and me, don't believe Oklahoma is that kind of it's a top 6 team right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You see.
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, I'll start with the positive, just so I'm not griping the whole time. I can see plenty of reason for people to slam Notre Dame at 10, but they're more deserving of 10 than Wake Forest is of 9. However, Oklahoma at 8, in my opinion, might be the biggest success as far as actual correct placement on the top 25 here for the College Football Playoff Committee, right? And I say that much like you said, they're acknowledging that, hey, you're in a basketball conference and you're scraping by. That ain't gonna cut it. And because with the vast cavalcade there, take that, of teams that have that have screwed up, lacking a better word, losing to teams that they shouldn't, including at least one of your top 4. Notice how I said it, your top 4, E.J. Christian.
Yeah.
That is something that they took into consideration, and you know, this is the first moment I feel like we've gotten correct treatment of Oklahoma, and keeping them certainly out of the top 5 or 6, and getting them down a bit lower. It's right where it should be. They are right, where they should be, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm with you there. The biggest takeaway of the night is that, number one. All right. Let's go top six real quick, because obviously that's really where all the meat is in this conversation. These are the teams that are closer to the action. As I said earlier, they got the 6 teams right. I know we debated this on the Huddle podcast earlier. We'll debate here as well here. I had a lot of issue, and I know you and I got a little bit into it a little bit. The reason why I like Oregon number 4, because 4 through 6 really was the biggest issue. We can debate Alabama number 2 and whatever, and you want to think about 2 or 3, whatever. We have the debate. I personally, I'm not losing sleep over that shit.
Yeah, me neither. No, Alabama 2 does not bother me overall.
4 through 6 is a little more, is where the real argument begins for me.
Is where the straight trash. What it is,
right,
Christian.
Right. So, personally, I would prefer seeing Cincy 4, Oregon 5, Ohio State 6. Because the committee put Ohio State as high as they did, is why I defended Oregon at number 4. Because if you're going to put Ohio State that high, the head-to-head matchup they had earlier in the year, week 2, or week 2, week 3, whatever it was, has to come with something. Now, I'm assuming you are on the same boat as me in terms of Cincy should be in the top 4 or not.
Well, I'm in a different boat than somebody who tweeted. So the committee's top 4, I have little to no problem with. Oregon's will in Columbus has to count for something. By the way, that is Ernest EJ Christian. End of quote.
Oh shit!
Nicely done. Rip to the great Bob Uecker, by the way. Harry Doyle in Major League 2. A movie that was marked as required viewing on Hilarity by Default by myself, and the heretic Demosthenes Euclid, my good friend, said it was only recommended.
Yeah, I love that episode you guys did on Major League.
Oh, sweet. Did you see Major League 2? Because I'll tell you, the episode was probably better than the movie. Anyways.
Yeah, you guys trashed it, especially Demos.
Yeah, well, I warned him not to watch it, and he still did anyway. I think he wanted to bash a movie, so he went ahead and took my advice.
Yeah.
Or ignored it, I should say. Anyway.
Right.
So, EJ Christian, you have said officially that you're okay with the top 4, or you have little to no problem with it. But here's my thing. And what the committee wants to tell you is, we have respect for their win over Notre Dame. And then they immediately ask the question, what else have they done? Now, Ernest Julius Christian, my question to you is, what has Ohio State done other than beat Penn State? A 5-3 team, I might add.
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing. And what is the marquee win on Oregon's schedule?
Ohio State.
So if you're okay, quote, if you have little to no problem, let me just get it right. If you have little to no problem with that heaping pile of bovine excrement, sir, continue watching basketball and give me the occasional go heat, bitch. I don't want to hear from you on this topic. Okay? Sorry. I know it's harsh. I dunk on you on your show all the time. You are Sabonis and I am O'Neal. That is what it is. I'm Shaq, you're Sabonis. I'm going to dunk on you and push you to the ground. That's where you belong in this particular conversation.
Oh, jeez.
You're what? Now, that all being said, I will give – here's where the committee screwed up. Here's what they should have done. Let's say you want those 6 teams. I'm not prepared to sign off on that. I could probably make a pretty good case if I really wanted to. I just don't want to bad enough to put Oklahoma State in that conversation. But I ain't going to tell you there.
We ain't doing that, no.
Yeah, I mean, because let's be real. The real reason I'd be doing it is because of the nation's most fantastic mullet, hands down. Shouts to Mike Gundy.
Yes, sir.
If the committee wanted to do this right, they should have, by the way, I'm happy with where Michigan State is placed, and if you want them to, I'd be happy with that as well. I like where Michigan is at 7, right? All of those teams and Alabama are in a proper place in the event that they can play themselves in or out at that position, is how I'll put it, right? Which, by the way, if you want to tell me there's no preconceptions going into this, as the chair of the college football committee, Gary Barta, who, by the way, EJ, in case you might have been wondering what may have had an influence in Iowa being ranked so high for so long, he is in fact the athletic director of the University of Iowa. So there's that.
Interesting. Dickens, buddy.
Hey, Betty. So, and I assume, by the way, that he's the current one. I haven't looked it up officially, but for all the ones that are former somethings, they list them as former somethings. Like, for those that don't like Notre Dame at number 10, it lists one of the committee members as former Stanford and Notre Dame and Washington head coach Tyrone Willingham. Personally, I like Willingham, but that's a whole other question. And a former student athlete in Rod West, who's also listed as having attended the University of Notre Dame. Anyways, didn't catch that on Big Jim's show. So if you watch the Huddle Up podcast and wonder why I did not include that there, now you'll know why. I just found it here on the Football is Awesome podcast here with my friend Ernest Christian.
Of course, yes.
Yes, you beat me to it, but hey, give yourself a ding.
Ding.
So at any rate, so if we don't have a real win, air quotes, and Cincinnati has a better marquee win combined with 0 losses to unranked teams, I need a better explanation than why they're 6. The committee should have put them at 4. And then if the other teams that they want in do their job, notice how I phrased that, EJ Christian, then give them the ability to climb the mountain rather than straight up friggin' dissing the G5 again. Right?
Right.
Because then what's gonna happen, like looking at the rankings, let's say, I don't know, like a Michigan. I'm not gonna say Wake Forest because they suck. I'm not even interested in the ACC. Let's say Michigan or Ohio State, whenever two. Like if somehow Jim Harbaugh wins the Ohio State game, we'll say one of those two Big Ten teams plays an undefeated Cincinnati team who wins the American Athletic Conference and remains undefeated, and they play in the NY6 Bowl as is precedent, right? Let's say all that happens and they beat that Big Ten team of Ohio State / Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a situation that UCF was in when they beat Auburn and then went on to recruit their head coach, and Gus Malzahn. If Cincinnati declares a national championship, everyone will get all pissed off at them that they shouldn't do that and all that. But EJ, at this point, my question is, what do you want these cats to do?
I think they're screwed.
Right.
I think they're screwed. I mean, I think the play was to put them in a 4 and to see what happens. Because I think now with everything else, because I think another situation too that we're probably not going to consider is that, let's say there is chaos on top, like from 1 through 6, but Oklahoma wins out. Oklahoma will get more looksies.
Don't do this.
I don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. The committee's going to do this.
So, and by the way, you said that Cincinnati got screwed. Sir, if I might read the quote again, little to no problem with. If you have little to no problem with, how can anybody get screwed?
No, again, when I said it's for clarity, the top 6, the right teams in the 6 are correct. You can tinker the order, but looking at the dynamic of what's to come in November on the schedule, unless catastrophe happens, I just don't see Cincinnati get cracks of 4, because at some point, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, one of those 3 teams are going to crack the Big Ten. I mean, Oregon, as long as they don't fuck up the rest of the year, should be okay. They need help. They need a lot of help. And then you still have the Oklahoma's in the world lurking in the background.
So let me tell you, Patriots fan, here's what you need to do. You've seen this episode. I misinterpreted the rules.
Right. Oh man.
I had a ball in each hand for those dunks. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. You did. Ego. No. It's pretty exciting though. First playoff. Rankings of the year. It's exciting times.
By the way, if people are wondering why I'm partaking of the Maker's Mark, it's not. I mean, it is a prop, but I'm doing it to get in the proper frame of mind to look at the situation in a similar fashion to the College Football Playoff Committee. But I cannot get that effed up. I'm too fat.
Moving on.
Kyle's fat. More than 11.
Yeah, more than 11. Anyway.
Hey, listen, that's an offensive lineman in the background, sir. I can use, there's certain words you can use that I can't. Fat is my word. I'm an O-lineman, okay?
My question, because we look at the schedule this coming week for college football, there isn't really any big games coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So most of these teams should stay chalk this week.
Yeah.
Do you expect any movement next week for the rankings, next Tuesday?
The movement I'm looking for is lower in the space. There's a lot of other teams that aren't getting the respect. You have too many ACC teams in this top 25 overall, and I'm not going to go nitpicky and waste your time with that.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to put Fresno State in and San Diego State. Don't we love you guys? Even though the American Athletic Conference is better than the ACC this year.
They are.
We're going to waste our times with that. Yeah, let's make sure the Mountain West gets their representation. What the F? Anyways, your most famous program isn't even going to be in there in 2 years when Boise State moves up to the Big 12.
Right. No, I'm with you. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, there's really no really big top 25 team games going. At least matchups this week. So we'll see where that goes. Okay.
By the way, I wonder what they're going to be talking about in College Game Day all damn day as they've scheduled that. What is it, Tulsa and Cincinnati this week on ESPN. College Game Day, if I remember correctly. So, yeah.
All right. Quickly before we get to two NFL things to get to. Number one, Von Miller traded to the Rams from the Broncos a day ago, 2 days ago, as I'm recording it published. The Rams, number one this week in my rankings. They are tied for the best record in football right now. Von Miller still has someone in the tank, I'm assuming. Where does this go for the Rams? Does this put them over the top as a Super Bowl favorite?
They were already pretty damn high. The concern, if there is one for me, is more their offense than their defense. That's right. I said it. I'm not one of these that's trying to schedule a lunch date with Sean McVay just so I can get an NFL job. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he's the coach everybody wants you to believe. I'll still take Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, Bill Belichick, among others, over this guy. Let's not act like he's, hell, I'll take John Harbaugh over this guy. That's right, I said it. Okay? I heard, wow. Yeah. This is a guy who's creating a team that kicks butt in the AFC and name their top receiver. Wait, you can't. The guy they drafted to be fast is out for the season because he got friggin' hurt. Okay?
I'm shocked that you don't have him in top 5.
Oh, my.
McVay? No, not top 5. Certainly not.
Okay.
I just listed 5 there, too, didn't I?
4, but.
What did I say? Reid, Arians, McVay. Reid, Arians, Belichick.
You said Harbaugh. That's 4.
I said John Harbaugh. I'm sure I can.
Mike Tomlin.
Oh, boom! Hey, good call. Well done.
There you go. Hey.
All right, that was a good kick out for me to hit the open jumper. Well done, Horace Grant style on that one, right at the top of the key. # better than Rodman. Anyways,
slow down.
What? That I want my scoring players to score and
No. Better all-around player, I would say Horace Grant is. Yes, I agree with that.
Hey, 15 rebounds in double digits per game is better than 20 rebounds in single digits per game. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
Anyways, so
what can I say except you're welcome?
Oh, I loved that. Where the hell was I? You really got me with the Maui piece.
Von Miller.
Yes. I first saw this and I'm like, I thought Afro Man might have become the GM of Denver for a minute because someone had to get high for that, and I don't mean mile high, but or more than a mile high. Anyways, the punchline being, I look at the details and I'm like, wait, Denver's paying his salary? What the hell are you people doing? Oh, go on. I really like this concept that the Rams have acknowledged we don't really need picks as much right now. And Denver's like, we need an ass ton of picks right now.
I saw next year they're going to have only 3 picks in the draft next year, the Rams.
Name a spot that the Rams could upgrade.
I guess a running back? No, not really. I mean,
Anderson's amazing. I've had the opportunity to see him in person. He's not going to be your primary guy because you have Matt effing Stafford there with Cooper Kupp. I'm going to love it if Cooper Kupp can actually play a full season. I want to see his numbers blow up because you may remember, Ernest Christian, that a while back when we were doing the Student Game Report seasons back, there were rumors of the possibility of Stafford in San Francisco, and I was about it, as the children say, right?
Right.
So seeing this, I'm not a Jimmy Garoppolo hater, but I am at the same point saying, damn it! So, I'm not one of these 49er fans who's whining and complaining about every little move they make about a quarterback that just got to the Super Bowl 2 effing years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the other reason why I love this trade is Von Miller. I don't care how much you think he has left in the tank, EJ. Add 2 more years to it. Because even the great Ray Lewis was pounding on the tables in Baltimore at one point once Sam Adams retired. You know what the position Sam Adams played by chance?
Was he tackle? No, not. Yeah.
He was a defensive tackle. Very good. Absolutely correct. So after he retired, I think for a year, maybe 2, Ray Lewis had a little bit of an issue there, a little bit of a tougher time at his position. Whom did they draft shortly after that?
Is it Nata?
Haloti Ngata. Very good, EJ Christian, multiple-time Pro Bowler at the defensive tackle spot, and lo and behold, Ray Lewis was able to play as an immortal. Nearly Tom Brady length of time in the league.
Yeah.
At a position that takes a lot more damage, by the way, than don't hit Tommy. Meanwhile, you got linemen coming at you trying to go, yes, a juggernaut, bitch, but you can't do it because you can't get past Haloti Ngata. Now, if I'm Von Miller and I've got Aaron Donald in front of me, holy shnikes.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're definitely inched close. They definitely inched into favorite mode, pretty much, in the Super Bowl run. I agree with you there. Although I will say it is definitely 6 tiers. We'll get to this last topic here because we're going to talk about locks. But to me, I think it's really 6 teams right now who are, if we're going by tiers right now, who are Super Bowl favorites, it's 6 teams in my opinion. I have, based on my rankings too, Bills, Bucks, Cowboys, Packers, Cardinals, and Rams. In no order, of course.
In no order, yes, but you still kind of insult me with at least 2 factors in your teams there.
What is it?
The first one is, where the F are the Baltimore Ravens, you hater-ass hater?
They are on the cusp.
Cusp these nuts. Anyway, and I feel compelled, EJ. I don't often stir up trouble like some of your completely ignorant of football Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it.
You did say it.
But I did stir a bit of a nest. One of them took issue with your analysis of the Cowboys.
Right.
And you as a Patriots fan, it's perfectly legitimate for you to comment on the Cowboys. You're allowed to have opinions about other teams, just not your rivals. It's not like you're giving the Dolphins or the Jets or the Bills that much props, So not a damn thing. You're starting to get numb to it. So, so you had mentioned that you think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl caliber team. Now, EJ, my question to you is this. Here's the analogy I'm going to go with. Who's your favorite Super Bowl, EJ Christian? Let the people know a little bit about you.
Hero? Batman.
Batman. Can you pick somebody other than Batman, please?
Jeez.
Because Batman's not the best example that fits my story. I kind of faked it on the Huddle Up podcast with Big Jim.
So let me go with Marvel. Let me go with the Marvel character here.
Sure.
This is Thor?
Thor. Great. Okay, I can work with Thor.
That's my top three.
Who's the third guy?
You got Thor, you got Hulk.
Thor, Hulk, and Batman? Are you talking top 3 Marvel? I mean, like...
Marvel here. Batman's my favorite. Batman's my favorite one. Period.
Yeah, okay. But we'll go with Thor. Thor is very appropriate.
Okay, good.
Now, Thor, to open the movie, the first movie, that made me feel very uncomfortable as I watched the way my wife looked at Chris Hemsworth. Not that I blame her. I mean, listen, that's a beautiful man. I have no problem saying.
Guy, dude.
But the Cowboys are in that current state of Thor trying to be able to earn the right to bear Mjolnir possibly. Or as he should, I shouldn't say possibly, completely, right? I got Mjolnir right, and then I screw up that other word. How does that work? Anyways, he was definitely able to expose the ice giants in the battle at the beginning of that movie in the MCU, right? Just like the Cowboys this past weekend turned the Vikings into a Janet Jackson halftime show and exposed them. Now, granted, we weren't surprised by that because Kirk Cousins did Kirk Cousins things, kind of like Tom Brady did Tom Brady things against the Saints. Anyways, hashtag don't tweet during games.
Hey, calm down.
Sorry, I'm going after your former quarterback. My bad. Man, you and I need to play volleyball together sometime because I would get tired having to jump up and do all these spikes. You just keep setting them up.
You get tired of picking on me?
You make it so easy, boy.
I do sometimes. I can't lie.
I mean, but I mean, and you know, listen, they've done plenty of good for Asgard in showing the evil and revealing the Loki that is Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
But at this point, I don't see this Cowboys team. They need to show me a Dark Elf or a Thanos that's worth actual battle, like or a Captain Marvel if you watch What If, you know.
Right.
And without that performance, I can't sign off on that yet. And listen, they got a lot of elements. This is a different team. You're not wrong. I had them as likely sacrificial lambs in the first round of the playoffs coming out of the NFC least. And now I'm confident they're going to win 2 playoff games at this rate, unless they come across Aaron Charlie Rodgers. That'll be a challenge. But who knows? Maybe Dak can overcome, having learned from the first time when he did his damn job and Rodgers went all Rodgers. But I digress.
Right.
This is a good team. Them as a NFC championship candidate is undeniable. I mean, anybody who sniffs the top 4 in a conference, you certainly have to say that because math. Super Bowl, I'm just not there yet. You're telling me that they're going to beat some combination of Bruce Arians, Sean McVay, or Cliff Kingsbury isn't the best coach in this conversation, but a team as stacked as the Cardinals, which for all intents and purposes, really, you know, people talk about how great Aaron Charlie Rodgers played and overcame all the team's group of people they were missing, including Devontae Adams. But, you know, let's also not forget how stacked that offense is. And the biggest problem they have is, you know, my dude out for the year with shoulder surgery, right? You know, so I'm just not there yet. I don't see them lasting through all of that to represent in the Super Bowl against Baltimore. I don't see that happening.
So this is a great segue because our last topic here, we're going to talk about we do this so often. We do never do this a lot more toward the end of the year. We'll do it again. It's been about a month since we did this. Our locks right now, playoff locks. If the playoffs start today, we're now week 9. Okay, we're halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
If the playoffs start today, right now, the division winners right now would be the Green Bay Packers in the North. You have the Arizona Cardinals right now, currently in the West. The Dallas Cowboys in the East. No surprise there because the East sucks.
Right.
And the Buccaneers in the South. And right now, your playoff 3, wild card 3 right now, of course, the Rams as the 5 seed, the Saints as the 6 seed, and right now the Carolina Panthers are the 7 seed in the NFC wild card race. Now, obviously got a lot of football to be played, but what holes here? What are the locks here?
Okay, so are you saying locks as far as just them winning their division, or are you talking about their actual seeding?
Well, both. You could do locks in the division and who are the locks in the playoff.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or both.
See, we've done that before in the past. I did that more for the people at home. I'm going to maintain that the Cowboys are a lock. That's going to happen.
Yes.
They are going to make the playoffs. They are going to represent the NFC least. I'm in no position to lock neither the Cardinals nor the Rams. Even though I think both of them will make the playoffs, you're asking me to decide right now who's going to win that division. I am not. Listen, you're the knee-jerk specialist on this show, not me. Okay, that's not how I roll.
Right.
I mean, hell, even in the Rams, I'll say this for the Rams. If you were forcing me to lock right now, the reason why I would pick the Rams is because of their conference record. The Cardinals are currently 2 half games back because the Rams have won 5 NFC games where the Cardinals have only won 3 so far for that particular tiebreak. They're both currently tied at 7-1, by the way, which is why I go there. I picked the Saints to make the playoffs anyway.
Because of the quarterback situation.
Right. And yeah, listen, Trevor Siemian, I think you and I both have enough faith in Sean McVay to kind of will them to the playoffs because we've said in the past of the AFC, EJ Christian, this year the NFC is really damn top heavy.
Question.
Yeah. At this point, I can't pick the Panthers confidently, but gosh, I mean, who's going to pass them at this rate? Like the Niners? The Bears? Ew. The Eagles? Oh, God, all that is gross. Rusty has actually a chance to come back and will them into the playoffs.
Yes.
And have me tell the world once again, I told you bitches, you should have voted an MVP a number of times, that kind of thing. So
it's safe to say that the division winners we have right now currently outside Arizona are all locks.
Yeah, I'll lock the Bucks. I'll lock the Cowboys. I'll definitely lock the Pack. You're right.
The Cardinals or either or. If you don't get the division, look at the wild card, no matter how you slice it.
That's correct. Again, back to that top-heavy statement, right?
I honestly am not ready to lock in the Saints, although I trust Sean Payton. Well,
that's fair, but because the competition is so lacking, I feel compelled.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And, it wouldn't be the first time I've been more bold than you and absolutely correct on your show. So.
Right, true. All right, AFC. This is a little more interesting, in my opinion, AFC.
Oh, tons more.
So right now, if the playoffs started today, by the way, breaking news, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. Fourth World Series.
Oh, good. It was the Braves with the cheaters and the Braves won. Yay.
Well, Braves, not a bad team. I know I'm a Mets fan. If the playoffs started today, here's the division winners right now currently. Right now, the Tennessee Titans have the best record in the AFC 2 right now at 6-2, and also lead the AFC South right now.
And by the way, Tennessee fans, the reason why that's happening is because your schedule's complete damn garbage.
Correct.
Okay? If you didn't play the NFC West, you'd have no difficult teams on your schedule, and don't throw Indianapolis at me.
Right. The Baltimore Ravens are leading the AFC North. Las Vegas Raiders currently lead the AFC West, and the Buffalo Bills currently lead the AFC East. Right now, your wild cards at the playoffs today are the Cincinnati Bengals, who are the 5 seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the 6 seed, and the Los Angeles Chargers are the 7 seed. By the way, the Patriots are only half a game behind the Chargers for the 7 seed as well, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a little interesting. Locks wise, I can only give you one lock on my end.
Who's that?
I'll have you go. The Buffalo Bills. I'll have you go first, though.
I'll agree with the Bills on the lock. I, too, despite the Derrick Henry departure, am forced and compelled to say that the Titans, with 3 games up in the division, they are a lock in the AFC South. I mean,
and 4 if you count the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Have they swept them?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they sure did. You're right, buddy.
Yep.
Bing! Yeah. So
that
just as I predicted back in late August, early September, the Titans will win the AFC South. If you don't believe me, check out my AFC South preview on the 3pointconversion.com. Bing! That's the number 3, not the word 3. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the Titans there, especially now that you had the tiebreak. I like the story with the Bengals, but at the end of the day, I'm going to call the Ravens a lock still, and I'm more than happy to be wrong about it. Okay. Am I doing that mostly because of the consistency of my prediction? Yes. But yeah, I have 3 locks for division winners here. The wild cards are a cluster, my dude. I will lock the Bengals as a playoff team, which feels weird, but I'm going to do it. I want the right reserved, though, that in the event of a Joe Burrow injury, that I can rescind my lock. Yeah. Carson Wentz throwing interceptions and delivering a bad play regularly. I'm not feeling him. The Chargers with Justin Herbert today are more reliable than the Chiefs. But and somewhere in here, the Patriots are lurking, which is mind blowing too. I'm not locking anybody else after that. This is crazy.
I'm literally locking one team. Tennessee, they have a 4-game lead. That might be close to a lock. The schedule, I will say, for the Colts and for the Titans the next couple of weeks, Titans schedule a little tough without Derrick Henry. Colts get a little easier. Colts been playing really good football. Should have won last week. So though they're 4 games behind, that's a big lead in the NFL. There was enough time to make up the ground, and the schedule also helps it too. But they literally have to make up the ground next 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Something I would remind you, sir, that the Titans do still have the Jacksonville Jaguars one more time among a lot of other easier games. Also, the second game against the Texans is only 3 weeks out. So they have 2 tough games coming up, I'll grant you. But At day's end, it's not enough to make a difference. And listen, there have been teams that have made it to the Super Bowl on the strength of a weak-ass schedule. That is how Rex Grossman made it to the Super Bowl, to eventually get annihilated by the Indianapolis Colts under Peyton Manning.
I'm not ready to lock any wildcard teams for one reason. Because even though the Bengals, Steelers, Chargers are the current wildcard team right now, you still have the Patriots lurking. The Chiefs, if they decide to turn around, unless there's issues there, but they only have game back in the wild card, and they still, you have to give them the leniency to say, they could all of a sudden figure it out and win 5 in a row because they have that quarterback, they have that team. Now, obviously, are they a Super Bowl team right now? No, but can they get as a wild card and even win the division? Yeah, that's supposed to get.
Yeah, I obviously have 4 locks. I'm apparently, what is it? I said Bills, Titans,
Ravens.
And
that's it.
Ravens. Bills,
Ravens.
Titans. Right. Bills, Titans, Ravens.
That is,
and I think
Bengals.
the Bengals are going to make the playoffs. Yeah.
If the Bengals win this weekend against the Browns, I'm sold on the Bengals as a playoff team, block-wise. Because
okay, so you'll be locking next week. That's cool.
Right, because here's the thing. You lose to the Jets. Okay, how do you bounce back from this loss? Show me next week, and then we can talk.
And if I could tell you this too, buddy, like I haven't checked the stats to see if Joe Burrow had any turnovers or anything, but here's what I can tell you. You scored 31 points. You did what the kids would say is your damn job, okay? So, at this juncture, this isn't something that's going to happen often, is what I'm saying, right? Like, you just know. Like, they're going to beat the Browns. I'm very confident of that.
I am too.
I'm sure I'll get random Brown fan tweeting me, oh, look at that, whatever.
Durka.
Yeah, Durka, right. Joe Burrow did have an interception in a game where he threw 3 touchdowns, and they had a 4th from Joe Mixon on the ground. I mean, listen, here's what happened. Mike White had no film. That's what happened, point blank.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll revisit these locks again probably around Thanksgiving weekend, and then from there go week to week after that, because like right now we're at the halfway point of the year, and it's getting interesting now. This has been a very fascinating season, and it's going to get even more fascinating as we go down these next 2 months of the season. So, we'll let you go. Plug away on what you got going on, because you're a busy man these days.
Amen, definitely. Listen, first of all, honor, joy, and privilege to be with you here again on the Earnestly Speaking podcast, even though you still have the Take 3 background out, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I advertise better than you. You better have that bell ready. I'm not your buddy, guy.
Don't be rude.
China. Well, I did that as a wrestling reference. Anyways. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check me out on the3pointconversion.com. That is the number 3, not the letter 3. My work with the UCF Knights and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll actually be in Jacksonville this weekend to observe your Buffalo Bills, or rather your bitter rival Buffalo Bills that are Patriots fan, and see if they're really that scary for you.
Don't be rude.
Too late. Of course, you can see my work also with my good friend Demosthenes Euclid on Hilarity by Default, as we talk about movies and what is required viewing and what isn't, and that sort of thing. EJ still takes the time to watch a video instead of listening on a podcast, so that should tell you that it's a great time.
Yes.
Of course, check out my work with the Captain and Company Morning Show and A7B in Sports with oldschool101.com, my friend Captain Chris Hill. EJ Christian, pulling a late shift.
Yeah.
Get one more sip so I could rest well tonight.
You sure you're not drunk?
I'm too fat for that. We've been over this. Anyways, until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
Yeah. All right, Aegis versus Degenerate, week number 9. Zach now takes a 4-2 lead.
Man, I didn't think there was any way in hell I could win this week.
You started saying I remember asking at the 1 o'clock game, he's like, how much wins you want for? He's like, I don't want to admit it. Like, dude, what are you worried about, man? Like,
holy hell. That was an ugly weekend if you were a good team.
Yeah. Lots of shit going. Lots of shit to take away from that weekend. We'll get to those, a lot of these teams as we go through our picks for the week 9 games here. We're officially halfway through the year. Fun year so far. I think and you obviously in the power rankings when you check it out, it's quite clear that there are really 6 teams right now who are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. 1 team in the AFC right now, in my opinion. 1 team.
Yeah, and I mean, you couldn't put in a second team until the news about Derrick Henry. Tennessee was starting to look for real, and then you get that kind of news, and no one's going to buy Tennessee the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get to the picks of the week. First game, we have a Thursday night game between wait a second. Give me that. There we go. The New York Jets and Mike White heading to Indy to face the Colts. The Colts are 10.5-point favorites. The over-under is 46 points. The Colts are now technically 4 games behind the division, the Titans. However, Derrick Henry's out for the year. Therefore, I can't necessarily count out the Colts to win the division, especially given the fact that the next couple weeks, Titans' schedule gets really tough, and Colts' schedule gets a little easy, including this game here. Did the Colts win here? I think they cover. They should win that game on Sunday. Let's be real.
Man, I'm thinking of it the other way. If I'm that young kid, Zach Wilson, and I just watched my backup's trainer get hired to join the coaching staff, that is the wrong message you want to send to your supposed franchise quarterback.
You want the Jets? You doing it? What?
Dude.
What are you doing?
If you want to have a franchise quarterback,
Bro.
do not tank it in the first season like they're doing right now with this hire. I'm sorry, but yeah, you gotta take wins to cover this game. I'm not gonna buy 2 games of the Jets playing like they did on Sunday.
Wait. Taking the Colts to win this game and cover?
Yeah, I'll take the Colts to cover.
I was getting a little worried. You're gonna take the Jets to fucking cover 10.5 points. Holy shit! What to say? What the hell?
I'm just saying on the Jets' part, it is not a smart decision.
Right. All right. Next game here we have the Battle of Ohio. The Cleveland Browns heading to Cincinnati face the Bengals. The Bengals are 3-point favorites. The over/under is 47 points. Bengals tough loss to the Jets. Tough loss to the Jets. My God. The Browns gained surprisingly all against Pittsburgh. I had Pittsburgh on the points, which I hit. And they're starting to figure things out a little bit. We'll get to them later. Bengals tough loss though, but I'm interested to see how they turn around this week.
Yeah, there's really nothing to grasp at for Cleveland right now. It's as if Baker Mayfield's fallen to the media. And then when you look at Cincinnati, what the hell, man? It was the Jets.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Did you just feel like you were going to win no matter what? And then, boom, they lose.
Go ahead.
For me, I'm going to take the under because Cleveland still got a defense that's showing up. And as long as their offense doesn't put any points on the board, I look pretty good.
That's true. I have the under as well, too. I got under here as well. All right. The next game here, we have the Denver Broncos heading to Dallas to face the Cowboys. In my opinion, Super Bowl contender Cowboys, are 10-point favorites. The over-under is 49.5. Yeah, I said it to you. If they get through this game, and they got this game without Dak Prescott.
Who'd they play?
Okay, stop.
Who did they play at what time?
Captain Kirk Cousins. I know.
Okay.
I know. Primetime game, bad sign.
All right, that's all I got to say on that.
That said, give me the Broncos on the points here. I think I was win this game, but I think it'll be a closer game.
I'm going to take the under in the game, actually.
I like that.
Because I don't know how much Denver will be in that game after that trade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with that trade, the Rams are going for it, right?
You mean
do they even have a 2022 draft pick now?
We're talking about Von Miller, of course, for the listeners.
Yeah, when you trade for Von Miller, you got to feel like nobody is safe on that team any longer in Denver.
No. And I think they're doing the right thing, I think, to be honest, for the team.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're doing the right thing by him. He'll never compete for another championship while he's there.
Right. And he's the only athlete left to get rid of to build. So I'm with you. But I got Denver on the points here. You have the under this game. I think Dallas still wins. Dallas, okay. I'm there. Dallas is Super Bowl contender. I'm there.
They are not.
Ooh.
Stop.
Ooh. Well, you also hate the Cowboys, though. So, you're not really come on, you're a little bit of a hater. You know what I mean? Come on, I know what you hear.
You made a team a Super Bowl contender because they beat Kirk Cousins on prime time.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Next game. Houston Texans heading to Miami face the Dolphins. Kind of weird because it's the week that Deshaun Watson should be traded, but not going to happen probably. Anyway, the Dolphins are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is 46 points. Dolphins. They win that game with Buffalo. They hung tight, and then now when they lose, they fucking Buffalo even covered late. Jeez.
They know how to screw it at the end.
Yes.
But God, I am so grateful I am not a Dolphins fan. I am so grateful I'm not a Dolphins fan.
Yep. I don't blame you. I mean, that's kind of disrespectful a little bit though, but I get it. Give me Dolphins to cover this game. Houston's terrible.
And I'm gonna go the complete opposite. Give me Houston.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes. I will take Houston plus the points in this game.
What? What?
What?
Okay, here we go. Wow.
I just got this feeling, man.
Got the feeling, too. All right. Next game here. The Atlanta Falcons heading to New Orleans to face the Saints. The Saints, 6-point favorites, over under 41.5. This Saints seems fucking weird. But they're 5-2. They're winning games. They're in my top 10 this week. It is what it is.
And now the talk is they're going to have Hill as the starting quarterback for next week.
Yeah, concussion protocol. Did you pass it yet?
I hadn't heard whether or not he had passed it or not, but that was the talk coming out that he was going to get a shot to start, seeing as he was inactive for this past game where Trevor Siemian filled in.
Do you believe in Trevor Siemian, sir?
No.
Oh,
look, he couldn't survive being a quarterback in Denver when the rest of the West was garbage. Right?
That's disrespectful, buddy.
You
They were the team. Everyone else was trying to beat back then, and he couldn't survive.
Yeah.
No.
Give me the over in this game. They'll probably get points, at least 41, more than 41 points on the board. Gotta be.
Yeah, I want to take Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I mean, just really play this game? I don't know.
Well, one of us is bound to be right?
Yeah, at some point, right? All right, next game here, we have the Las Vegas Raiders heading to New York to face the Giants. The Raiders are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 47 points. Giants with a win, but not really a win last night against the Chiefs. That game should have been close, man. This is how you know Kansas City's in trouble now. This is how you know. Because they can't even beat the Giants at home. And that's terrible. They haven't won the roster.
No, if they even manage to find their way to the playoffs, right now I would not pick them to beat anyone.
Who, Chiefs?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm with you now. I think I've seen football to see this is not good. And then they're playing Green Bay this week too. On top of that, so.
I mean, they allowed Daniel Jones to put up 17 points. That's when you know you're bad on defense.
Yep. They got a problem. Give me under this game.
Ooh, I do like that, but I was going to take the Raiders even before I heard about Ruggs news, so I'm still going to take it just for the fact that their tight end will probably cut you up right down the seam. So give me Vegas to cover.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh, yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Yeah, I disagree.
I'm willing to bet that's going to be the game that decides it all, too.
It could be. It really could be. Anyway, next game here. The New England Patriots heading to Carolina face the Panthers. The Pats at 500 now, 4-point favorites. The over-under is 40.5. This Pats team's dangerous, man. They finally feel themselves. Mac Jones is feeling himself. Belichick, it looks like he's done it again.
Because he's 500.
Yeah.
He's 500, and he beat up on some crap teams.
Hey.
Don't be rude.
All right. Yeah, I'll take the dog at home. I'll take Carolina.
Ooh, I'll take the over in this game, actually.
Sam Darnold's played Belichick a few times. He knows what to expect.
Now I got the over in this game. I think they'll finally get some points on the board. I think Carolina, I mean, big win against Atlanta, obviously. Is McCaffrey's not back, is he?
No. And I mean, what is it, 41 for the over-under, you said?
40.5. There you go.
Yeah, it's a pretty low under.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. The Pats, the start of the fields. Look, the Pats went to L.A. to beat your team who's come up a bye week at home. The Chargers, your team. Remember the Chargers? Your team?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, they beat them. You know. Oh, you know that. Just in case you forgot. Just let you know. What were you going to say?
All that says is Dallas has beat nobody then when the Chargers are losing to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their one decent team they had beaten, so.
Oh, Lord.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude. You're so rude. Anyway, next game here. We have the Buffalo Bills heading to Jacksonville to take the Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills right now are 14.5-point favorites on the road. Over under 48.5. Could be crazy here, but I'm going to go ahead and take Jacksonville in the points here. I have the reason why I do this. I just feel like this is optics game here. Bills win this game, obviously, but 49 points on the road is a lot of fucking points.
They couldn't put up any points after a bye week against the Seattle defense that is atrocious. Like, they couldn't do jack. I am back on my... I made a mistake and got off my plan of just bet against Jacksonville. And what did it do? It cost me a game last week. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to correct that. I'm going to take the Bills in a blowout. 3 touchdown minimum.
Really, in a blowout, huh?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
This could be one of those huge shutout victories they have for the season.
All right. Next game here, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Baltimore to face the Ravens. The Ravens are 5.5 points favorites. The over-under is 49.5. Ravens off a bye week this week, which they needed, of course. Minnesota, tough loss against Dallas. That you know, the Vikings suck apparently according to you. Give me over in this game. I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I'm with you with the over just for the fact Baltimore just loves to play from behind to begin with. So if they're always going to be behind and then trying to win or even cover, yeah, I'll take an over in the game.
Yeah, Minnesota tend to play well in these more challenging games for some reason, and they play down to the opponents. You know what I mean? So we're very weird team this year. All right, next game here, your LA Chargers heading to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. The Chargers, tough loss against New England. They are 2.5 point favorites on the road. The over-under is 50 points. I think the Chargers turn around here. I think they win this game.
Yeah. I mean, why would I not pick them to win this game?
Yeah.
They're going against the Eagles, who have looked atrocious for most of their games with a couple bright spots, and it's amazing. But, yeah, I'll take the Chargers.
All right. Next game here. Game of the week, looks like. Green Bay Packers heading to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. It's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. Although there are some places that have this Chiefs favored by 3 points or 2.5 points. But Bovada has them to pick 'em. Over under 56 points. 56 points with over under. Regardless, I'm taking Chiefs to cover and win this game. So
Really?
I know. Well, I'm making Green Bay letdown coming up here. Let's go.
Is Devontae Adams coming back this week? He'll be clear by then, right? From COVID.
I missed all that. Say it one more time.
Devontae Adams, he's going to be back playing with the COVID issues, right?
I imagine so. I mean, it's an 11-day layoff. I mean,
I would take Green Bay to win the game outright. That's how bad Kansas City's defense is.
I have to be honest with you. They are. Maybe it's just me, trying to get ahead of the curve on this one thing. The Chiefs are turning around, but I mean, last night was definitely, tough one last night. But I'm gonna give Kansas City one more chance, and if I'm out. One more chance. You know what I mean?
I love this. Dallas is a Super Bowl contender because they beat up on Minnesota. The Chiefs will lose to Green Bay, one of your Super Bowl contenders, and you're like, nope, I'm out. I'm done. Makes no sense.
What can I say except you're welcome?
That's all I gotta say. Thank you, Dwayne Johnson. Anyway, next, you think I bring logic to this fucking podcast? Come on now. Anyway, next game here, the Arizona Cardinals heading to San Francisco to face the Niners. The Cardinals are 2.5 point favorites. The over-under is 46 points. Cardinals finally lost the first game to Green Bay, which is mentioned. Zona. It's not that they lost the game. That game should have been close in the first place.
No, it shouldn't.
And that's a bad loss. They went down my rankings. They took a tumble my rankings this week. Let's put it that way.
But you know what? I mean, that was like Ben Simmons out there playing football. You have to turn around and look. At the very end of a game for a game-winning catch, you are not out there to make any kind of block.
Give me Zona here.
Yeah.
Let's run around.
San Fran's done. I mean, I don't care how they looked this past weekend. They are done as a team for the season.
Yeah, you were one of the ones that were ahead of the curve on that, on the Niners being, meh this year. So
you were drafting a quarterback. You gave up your entire future for a quarterback. that even your own GM was saying would be like a year away.
Yeah.
I mean, that basically kicked the balls of every guy on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think I was ahead of the curve on that one.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I think it's the Sunday game here. The Tennessee Titans heading to L.A. to face the Rams. This would have been a big game, obviously, but some sort of things happen in this. The Titans here. The Rams are 8-point favorites. The over-under is 54 points. Obviously, Derrick Henry's out for the season. Well, he's out for the regular season, we hear. That's a huge blow, obviously. Tennessee being a Super Bowl contender and being a has-been is literally just that situation. Rams easy here. Tennessee's not a good team without Derrick Henry. Where Derrick Henry goes, this team goes, and he's not there. So Rams will cover. Rams best. Rams right now, not by a lot, but the best team in football right now, in my opinion.
I'll agree with all of that. Other than Tennessee being done, I think Tennessee still has a shot at making the playoffs and the NFC. But
They're lucky that they have technically a 4-game lead in the division, as you mentioned earlier. But the schedule will determine a lot what happens in the next 2-3 weeks. So, but I have the Rams here to cover. And finally, the Monday football game between Chicago Bears heading to Pittsburgh versus the Steelers. The Steelers are 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is 40 points. Steelers quietly getting things together. We talk about Belichick a lot being the best coach ever, and that's a fact. Mike Tomlin, best coach in the league right now, I think.
No, but
his team should be good. Team should be as good as they are right now. To be honest with you.
What is their record? 4-4.
4-3.
4-3.
4-3. Beat the Browns on the road, which is a team that people had them going to the AFC title game. Super Bowl contender.
Not the last 3 weeks of how they've been playing.
Of course. I don't trust I don't trust the Steelers. I trust Mike Tomlin. And I trust that defense. Big bet done.
That is what they are resting their playoff hopes on, are those two things, and it's probably defense one. He's certainly an underrated coach. But is he the best coach in the league? I'm sorry. Isn't there a guy that's like 5-2 right now with Trevor Siemian basically playing an entire game?
Sean Payton might be coach of the year right now. Payton, coach of the year. No. I mean, is Mike Tomlin top 5? Yeah, I'd say top 5.
Yeah, top 5. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So, that in any case here, give me the under in this game, 40 points. This is gonna be no scoring here. Dustin Fields against the Steelers defense. Good luck with that. Steelers can't score shit anyway, so it comes down to defenses here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Under.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if Chicago scores 1 touchdown.
Yeah, who's on buys this week? I think we have the bye weeks here. I'm so like slow.
Washington. Sorry, Washington.
Oh, Washington. They're on bye. We're on buys. Hold on a second. Let's see. Here we go. The Lions, the Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Washington football team on buys. Of these 4 teams, who needs to buy the most?
Washington needs. No, the Bucks clearly need the bye.
These guys help.
Tom Brady was looking really old in that last game. So
I'll say Seattle actually, because now they got to win this week, so they stopped the bleeding a little bit. You assume that after a bye, maybe Russ Wilson's back to play next week after. Maybe that's possible. Reports. I mean, they're 3-4 right now.
I think they're out of the playoffs. So.
Yeah, but because things are weird in the NFC right now, there's, if they need to win this one game to kind of just obviously things that happen around them, but they're not in a situation. It's not definitely a situation where they couldn't come back because of that quarterback, obviously. So look at the play pitch right now. So look at the NFC real quick. I mean, what the hell? Why is this not working? Here we go. All right. So look at the NFC. Obviously, you got. After we get past the top team, so you have obviously Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, and Cardinals, and then the Rams is a wild card, the Saints is a wild card, and then that is it. There's one spot open, and every team below that is literally 4-4 or worse. Seahawks 3-5. So they're a game behind. If Russ comes back, if some things happen there, maybe he can catch a break here and there. And I mean, right now. Play start today, Carolina's in.
Look, there's a better chance of San Francisco taking that spot.
The 3-4, so it's. I mean,
But
technically they're the closer team of the two, but
I would take the Vikings before I would give it to Seattle right now.
yeah. But my point is though is that there's a door open for one more spot.
Yeah.
And they're only a game back of the wild card. So just saying, you get Russ back next week, things can happen.
Things can happen.
Yeah. Before we get going, quick FSU minute. Clemson. Damn it!
3 minutes to go.
Damn it!
3 minutes to go, and I was looking like a prophet.
Yeah. Damn it! So mad. So fucking mad. I'm still encouraged by this team going forward, but so mad.
No doubt.
You know, but yeah, tough loss, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a whole lot more offense. I was shocked.
Yeah. So, anyway, Zach, of course, you're ahead 4-2. So, I got ground to make up now, especially now as we hit the midway point of the year. Or it's not all you shenanigans.
Well, you know, I went against you on a lot of games, so you should be able to.
We say this every
Probably
week.
this week alone.
I mean, we say it every week now, but every week we come back here, and lately it's been hitting everything else, or a tie, and like,
I did take the Texans, so I feel like I'm giving you a game right there.
Give me a game.
I've been taking the Lions and the Texans, man. That's how bad I am.
Give me your beard too.
No shaving for a week.
No shave, yes, sir. So we'll talk next week, and good luck in your picks as always, and we'll talk soon.
You too, man. Later.
All right, be good. Later.